about Miss Nancy Guthrie after the new information has come out about the second ransom note that she had passed and that she was buried in nature. The question is that I'm having is why is this information coming out now? Why is the information coming out now? Does this mean that the DNA and hair information has not identified anybody? Or is it coming out to show why the family is not doing any searches for their missing 84-year-old woman? I'm sorry, their mother. I believe that if the people would see the family out searching for their mother, then maybe someone will come forward with the information that they need to help find her. It's really sad that someone will go and kidnap an 84-year-old woman out of her house in the middle of the night and no one knows where she's at. It's been almost 5 months and she is still missing. When they say buried in nature, are they talking about she's somewhere in the forest or she is out there in the middle of nowhere and and no one knows where she's at? I don't understand why they wouldn't tell the family where the body uh, could be located. Is because they didn't get the ransom money that they did not let the family know? I feel like if they would just gave the family a little more clues, then maybe someone could go and search for Miss Nancy Guthrie in the area of where they're staying. And I just don't understand. Where is Miss Nancy Guthrie? Where in nature is she buried? So that means if she's buried in nature, then she's probably not buried in Mexico. That she's probably somewhere around her neighborhood. If they're saying she's buried in nature, that means she's not far from her house. They didn't take her to Mexico. That means she's somewhere probably in her neighborhood or somewhere around Tucson, Arizona. I don't understand why they just didn't give the family the closure that they needed. Why they just could not help the family with that. And why they took her. That just remains. Why did they take her? Why was Miss Nancy Guthrie taken out of her house at 2 something in the morning? Was it a burglary gone wrong? Was it something that they were looking for? Did she witness something? Did she call the cops on someone? Was someone arrested when arrested? Did she have? Did she see something in the neighborhood that she didn't like? That she reported, and word got back to her to the people that it was her. It's just very strange that someone would kidnap an 84-year-old woman out of her house and harm her like that. I just don't get it. I've never seen a case like this. This case is just so it's unbelievable. Why come the family didn't pay the Bitcoin? They felt that some of it was true. Why come they didn't send any money to those accounts? Maybe they could have got, you know, the answer that they were looking for. Why is no one searching for her? Those are just the questions that needs to be answered. We're not going to search for her body. We're going to arrest the YouTubers because they're in front of her house. Waste money to arrest them, but don't go look for Nancy. Those YouTubers should not have been arrested. That's just my opinion. They were not doing anything wrong. Those YouTubers have done a lot. They have put out flyers. They have helped the homeless. They have really been out searching. They even did a protest to try to help find Nancy. And I feel for them to get arrested was just wrong, and for them to be like a target. If you go back in that neighborhood, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get arrested. But why? Why? Why would they get arrested? Is it something that the neighbors don't want them to know? Because most of the videos I saw, the YouTubers were not mean to those neighbors. The neighbors were the ones that were coming out yelling at them, being mean to them, and calling them all kind of names and lying. But it's just, I wouldn't want neighbors like that. You would think that the neighbors would be happy that people are out there keeping this case alive to help find their neighbor. But no one in the neighborhood, to me, seemed like they don't care. They didn't like Nancy. Nancy is not important to them. Nancy is is um is just an old lady that lived there. It's like no one knew her. No one went out and talked to her. No one did. All they did have done is makes like, oh, she was nice, but I really didn't talk to her. This woman had been in that neighborhood for 50 years. You mean to tell me no one knew her? She didn't know not one neighbor. She was not friends with one neighbor. She didn't invite one neighbor over to play her games, which she used to have company. It's just like strange. Why was she so distant from her neighbors? Why she didn't want to be around those people? Why is that is her neighbors uh wasn't invited to come play her games, or she didn't invite them to her church. She didn't hang with anybody in that neighborhood, but she's been there almost 50 years. And most of her friends were people that she worked with or went to church with. But not one friend in the neighborhood, not one friend, neighbor. Only person that has come out from the neighbor is the guy that said his dog barked, was looking in the direction of Nancy Guthrie. But he didn't call the police. He didn't call the police to check it out. Hey, my dog is barking. He's barking in the direction of my neighbor, Nancy. Could you go see what's going on? Not one time did he pick up that phone to call the police and to try to see what was going on with Nancy. But your dog is barking over there. Wants to go outside all of a sudden, looking over at Nancy's yard. Then I don't understand. Why not call the police? Why not try to get someone to go check to make sure everything was all right? You could have, if you would have called the police when them dogs were barking, you could have probably solved the case. Nancy would probably be still alive if you would have just called the police and said, "Hey, my dogs are barking in the direction of my neighbor Nancy. Could you please send someone over there?" You know, I find it strange, not to reach out to the police and have them go over there to see what's going on when your dog is saying, when you're saying on Nash TV, My dog was barking in the direction of Nancy Guthrie and wanted to go outside. It's just really strange. You know, that's why it's good, to know your neighbors. I make it a point to try to get to know one or two neighbors that I live by so that if anything happens, I have one or two neighbors that will look after me and make sure that I'm okay. But if you don't know no neighbors, you've been living there 50 years and no neighbors know you, no neighbor know who you are, no neighbor talks to you, no neighbor says, well, I've seen her when she's walked her mailbox, but no one stopped to talk to her. That's just strange. So now Savannah's asking for help. But Savannah, those YouTubers were trying to help you. You all let the neighbors stop it. You let the neighbors stop it. You all let the neighbors stop the YouTubers from going out there. Let the neighbors stop the memorial that was in front of your mom's house. Someone could have came and told a YouTuber a tip if you all would have just kept that going. Someone could have came and told the YouTubers a tip that was sitting out there because sometimes people don't trust the law enforcement. But someone could have came by and said, hey, this, and helped the case out. But you all stopped the YouTubers for going out there. You know, you don't want them out there. You don't want the flowers, the memorials gone. It's like Nancy never existed. She never lived in that house. They took Annie's car. They took your flowers. Maybe if the family would come back out there and start a memorial and back in front of the house, maybe someone be willing to help. Just to see you come out there one time isn't enough. They need to see the family coming out there putting flowers out every single day to say, our mom is missing. We want her back. Show the people that you care. That's just my opinion. Show the people that you care. Show the people that you really want their help. Come out there. Put flowers back out at your mom's grave. Let a YouTuber come out there and videotape it. Do a interview with a YouTuber. Because some of those YouTubers, they have a lot of followers. And they can get it out there. This is just my opinion, but you guys need to do something. The silence is not good. The silence is not good. The silence is not good when you're asking for help. The silence is not good. The silence is not good. When the people see things that you don't care, then they're not going to care. Some people would not care. If they don't see the family out searching, they like, why should we search? The family's doing nothing. But you all need to do something. Come back out to the house. Sit out there. Videotape that street. See what's going on in that neighborhood. That's all I'm saying. Show people that you care. And that's it for today. Bye-bye.